Hey! Oh, all right, everybody. Right, I'm back on the fat bike, electric fat bike, and I've been trying it out. I've been having problems with the gears. And what I mean by that is changing gear when you're using pedal assist, and when you stop pedaling, the motor sort of carries on for like a quarter of a second. People who've got Bafang motors will know exactly what I mean. So you're pedaling along, you want to change gear, you stop pedaling, this keeps turning for like about a quarter of a second. It keeps turning, and then if you try and change gear straight away, it's you can hear the chain going like that. And then, but if you stop pedaling and leave it a little bit longer, then change gear, then start pedaling, obviously when you start pedaling the gears are going to change, but there's too much torque, right? Because the motor starts kicking in then. So it's a bit like when you're pedaling up a really steep hill. If you go up a really steep hill and sometimes you change up to a bigger cog, you can hear the chain making a funny noise, and it's doing that all the time. So what I've been doing is when I want to change gear, it's got 1 to 5 settings on the display. I got to go back down to 0, so it stops the motor, change gear, so you lose all power. If you're on a hill, it's terrible. And then change gear, then put it back on 1, 2, 3 or 5. So it's not ideal. So I ordered the SS01, I think it's called, Bafang shift sensor. Because some people in the comment section said, have you got a shift sensor? Try a shift sensor, it'll save your chain. Is it going to save my chain though? I don't know. But so I put one on, and all I needed was a cut-in tool, a spanner to undo the cable, a pair of pliers, a couple of tools you need. It's quite easy. I have filmed it, so I'll show you a minute how exactly what happened and how I did it. But I'm not holding my breath that the shift sensor is going to cure all the problems, because, like I said, even if this shift sensor stops the motor momentarily, I don't think it's going to be long enough to solve all the problems. You might have to go into the software maybe of the Bafang motor and change how long that delay is after you stop pedaling, because the torque sensing pedaling, whatever it is on you, is either off or on really. As soon as you start pedaling, it's hey, you're off like a rocket. So it's not like the harder you pedal, the more it gives you. If you know what I mean, it's not that kind of sort of sensation. It's a bit more haphazard would be the right word. But a couple of times my chain has gone that horrible noise you hear. So, and it hasn't snapped yet, but it will do if it keeps happening. So let's go to the footage of me putting it on, and then we'll go for a test run and we'll see if it actually cures the problem or if it's a load of old pants. Right, okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make a nice clean cut there, okay? So, shall I go there? I'll try that one there. Let's try and make as clean a cut as possible. And that was terrible. So, we can't use that bit, so let's try using that one there. Hope that's cleaner. This is terrible. So that's not giving a very good clean cut there. Let's try and tidy that up. Hopefully. It's supposed to be nice and sharp, these are, but they're bloody awful. So let's try tidying up with this. If it's not a clean cut, it's not going to work, see. So I'll try with them. Try and get it nice and tidy, and then I'll try and tidy the end of that up there. If it's not a nice cut, like I said, it's not going to work. So I'll try my best here to try and keep that all nice and tidy there, like that. Anyway, we'll do that when I take it out a bit further now. We've got that bit off now, so what I need to do next is undo this bit here. I've put it in the lowest gear as well, because that takes the tension off the cable. So that's out of there, and then we can pop that out of there like that, okay? So we've got that out of there, and I'm going to, I think the next bit I'm going to do now is go up to, you can't see this, but I'll bring the camera up by here now, like this, and I think I'm going to chop a bit not the cable, I'm going to chop a little bit of this outer sheathing off. Enough to fit in, where's this here, enough to fit that in there, look. So I'm going to cut it roughly by there, so I can fit that little ferrule thing in the end of there, put the cable through, pop that in there, if you know what I mean. Right, okay, so let me just sort that out and I'll get back to you. Right, okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I've cut that much out of there, that much of the cable off. So hopefully now I can fit this in there like that, and that should go on the end of there. So I'm going to try and put the cable through this now. I've tried my best to, let me get the cable, make that cable there, I don't know if you can see that, as nice as possible. So I'm going to try and slot it through here, through the hole. It's a bit convoluted this is, but I'm going to try and pop that through there, like that, and hopefully it's going to come through. And I look at that, first time. Now people have said they've had terrible trouble doing this, but I've seemed to be lucky. So there we go. So that's going to come all the way through there like that, pull that through, bish bash bosh, and then push that on there, and then that should hopefully pop in there like that, turn around, and there we are. Now if I cable tie that up there, I'm sorted. So that's, you can see that's on there, look, it's all on it, cables come through, that's up there like that. I'll put a cable tie on there now, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Right, okay, I don't know if you can see there, I've popped a cable tie on there, so that's in there nice and tidy now. That's nice and secure. The cable's coming down here. It's loose at the moment, so I haven't tightened it onto the derailleur. And then if I come down by here a bit, like this, by there, and try and show you this bit here. So I'm going to do this back up by here now. And once I've done that up, I'll tighten that up now, because it's on the loosest setting at the moment. I'll tighten this back up on here, and we should be away to go, and we should be able to give it a try. Right, okay then, I'm out on the open road, and if I look there now, I'm on gear 5, and if I try go up to gear 4, but I'm just pedal, I've got it on 0 look, right, so the pedal assist isn't on, I can go up the gears fine, okay? Now, if I put it on level 1, okay, and I try and go up the gear, it's gone up okay, so let's try and go down the gear now. It's going down the gear, going down okay, going down okay. Let's try and go back up again. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Now, that's on level 1. Let's try level 2. Let's go down the gear, that's okay. Let's go down the gear. Now level 2 is a bit more violent. So, let's slow down a bit a minute. Let's try and go up a gear now, right? On level 2. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it seems to be working okay. Let's go down the gears again. It's down. Down. Let's go right down to number 5. Let's try and come back up again. Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be working okay. There's a little bit of clunkiness on it, but it's not too bad. That's on level 2. I think if I went up further on the levels, like level 3, 4 and 5, it still would be a bit fruity on the old coming back up the cogs. Going down the cogs is much easier on the chain than coming back up the cogs. So I think we'll call that a sort of success. But I wonder if I can get one of them USB doodad malarkeys that you can plug in, and maybe I can program it to be, I'm not quite sure if I can do this, so if anybody in the comment section knows, can I program that delay when it changes gear to be slightly longer, to turn the motor off slightly longer, because it's a really short delay when I'm trying to change gear there. So, and it's also about getting your pedalling right as well. It's the human factor as well as the mechanical factor. So you've got to get your pedalling right. Try not to pedal too hard when you're trying to change gear. So it's a combination of you trying to do it correctly, and then obviously the bike is doing it mechanically. So yeah, I think it's working better than it was. I couldn't change gear at all before. Like I said, I had to take it down to 0, then change gear, then go back up again. But there we are. So anyway, that test, I'll call it a 90% success. Not 100%, because it is still slightly clonk. So I don't know how long that's going to make the chain last. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here because somebody's lit the fire around here, and it's bloody terrible. Oh, I can't hardly breathe. Anyway, that's the end of that test. So another thing I wanted to show in this video, I might as well bang it in as well, is that I've put one of these magnetic brake cut-off sensors here, look, okay, right? Now, I know you might be looking at this and going, what the hell has he done by there, right? But let me show you on this side here. The only place to put the magnet is there, okay, right? Now, if I can turn this around, I can't turn this around, but you can see that I can't put it there, and I can't put it there. If I put it there, it's too low. If I put it there, it's too much of an angle. So I've had to make this sort of dense foam sort of, I don't know, Spacer McDoodah thing, right? But I tried using that double-sided tape, the good stuff, I can't remember what it's called, and it was just falling off, right? And I tried that, and that wasn't secure either. So I've had to use epoxy resin. So, and you can see, I've had to epoxy, there's quite a lot of epoxy on there. So I put the epoxy on, stuck the sponge on, stuck that sensor part to the sponge, and I've epoxied the magnet to the lever, right? And you can see that you've got to have that magnet really close to that sensor, right? You can't have it like over here, because it'll just be cut off. You've got to have it really close. So I think it cuts off about by there, that's where it cuts off. And then you got that bit there left, okay. So it does work. I don't know how long it'll work for properly, but hopefully it'll work good. I would prefer to switched levers, because a switch is much better than this magnet malarkey. I'll have to do this side as well. I'll do it the same as that side, but it is a pain in the bum, because you're trying to glue this on, it's moving everywhere. I bought the epoxy that takes 5 minutes to set, so I was standing here for a while with my hand stuck there like that. Anyway, so I've done the brake sensors, and I've put the gear sensor on as well. Okay then, I've been out on the old e-bike. I've done about 20 miles today, trying out the gear sensor, and it's not ideal, it's not perfect. It's not perfect by any means, right? Because it might be better on sort of a lower wattage motor maybe, and obviously I've got the cheap gear set as well. My derailleur and my gears are quite cheap, so it's a bit clunky anyway. But I find that when I'm going down to the smaller cogs, it's fine. When I'm coming back up to the bigger cogs, it's not as good. So what I've been doing is, because I fitted brake sensors, if I just sort of pull the brake a little bit, it kills the motor completely, and then I can change up the gears without the motor kicking in, and I find that to be much better. So really, what it's better. Get a bit tongue-tied. Instead of spending money on the gear sensor, maybe I should have had some sort of press switch on-off motor thing, and I think that would have been better, I think, myself personally. But then sometimes you do forget, so I don't know. Anyway, if you've had any sort of experience with Bafang motors and doing the sort of gear sensor thing, what do you think? Have you come up with any sort of solutions to make it a little bit better, or is it just me? I don't know. Anyway, so there's the old fat bike there. I can't point in the right direction. there, there somewhere. So I got gear sensors on it, I got brake sensors. I think that's as far as I'm going to go with putting anything else on it now. I would like to sort of tweak the power a little bit, so that might be in the future. But anyway, if you like this episode, go on, give it a like, give us a subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all them lovely things, and I'll see you in the next one. Hoo-hoo!